Okay, it's part 13. We're gonna head out at night back to the studio. We just got done talking to everybody at the studio after the bomb, and we got done talking to Dwayne on the phone and talking to Beth. So now we're gonna head back out and see what we can find at night at the studio.
Taxi!
Where can I take you today, miss?
1999 Broadway, please. It's locked.
Okay, it's gonna be locked, so we gotta go to the side entrance. 3, 6, 8, 9. Where did we find that code again? The code is in the letter next to the phone at Maddie's apartment. So if you're wondering where you can find that, that's where it is. After you disable the bomb, a letter was sent to you and it's right next to the phone. So make sure that you look at that. Okay. Okay, I didn't want to spend too much time in that hallway because at nighttime, there's a security guard that trails the hall. Okay? If he catches you, game over, and you have to go back to whatever save port that you saved at. And if you didn't save, you lose all of your progress. So remember to save before going in at night. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I got to Rick's room, in order to get into his room, I had to use this pass. So in order to get in, just like, I don't know if you've ever seen those movies, like the people try to get in using like their credit cards and they'll swipe it through the door and it'll unlock. That's exactly what you're doing with the pass. You're swiping it through the door so that it can unlock. And that's how you get in. Now, if you are in junior level, you have more time to raid through the hallways without getting caught. If you are senior level, you have less time, and master level, you have the least amount of time. So the first thing you want to do is when you walk into the hallways at night, head into Rick's room. Okay? It restarts your time, and then go to whatever room that you're trying to go into. Now, there is no new evidence here in Rick's room, nor is there in Maddie's, so you don't need to go into their room unless you want to reset your time in the hallway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to save real quick because I don't want to lose anything. Okay, now let's go to the director's room. That's where we need to go. We've already gone to Maddie's room. We already looked into the prop room. We've checked the set, and we are in Rory's room. There's nothing that else needs to be done. So all we need to do is try to get into the director's room. We're going to use our card to get into her room, and hopefully when we're in there we can find more information of what we need to do next. Don't dilly-dally. Do not waste time standing in the hallway. You need to make your way to whatever room you need to go as quick as possible. Obviously, depending on where what level you're on. Okay, we're in the director's room. Okay, so this is the room. Let's just, look at it real quick. I'm going to spin around a couple of times. You can see it. Okay. This does not turn red, so we don't need to bother with that. That does not turn red. Then we have the desk. There's a lot of stuff. We have this bulletin board. We have a calendar. We have the computer. We have the shelves. We have the printer. We have another calendar over here. We have these books. We have this fax machine and some more shelves. We have this plant and a bookcase. And then this TV and little clip note thingy-majiggy that I can't remember. So let's go this way. So let's start here. We can go on the TV, but it doesn't turn on. Nothing turns red when you click on it. So let's go down. We have some tapes, but they don't turn red. Nothing there. We have this piece of paper. Let's click on it. Zoom in on it. There's nothing really of importance here. And then we find this paper that's behind it. Remember, whenever you see papers, check to see if there's any papers behind it, because this will lead to more information. So here we have a worldwide broadcasting confidential security code. So if we click on this, we see something. What we need to do here is we need to get out our 3D glasses and use them on here. Copy this down. You're going to need this. This is going to help you decode the password for the control room. Remember, the control room is upstairs in the set that has that little key code that's not letters, but instead they are symbols. You will need this in order to decipher what those symbols are so that you can put in the password. So go ahead and write this down. Okay, let's move on to the left here. And when you hover over here, it turns red, so let's click on it. Nothing turns red over here, so there's nothing to click on. And we have remember there were some maracas that were missing from the prop room on that list. That looks like the maracas there. And then these tapes turn red. Let's go ahead and click on them. Nothing turns red, so it's just a decoy, kind of waste your time. I know that over here it turns red as well, but if you click on it, it takes you back over here. So we're done with the shelving. Now we can click on the plant. When you click on the plant, nothing turns red, so it's just another decoy. So let's move over. And let's click over here. We have a drawer. Let's click on the drawer. And we have this bottle. Click on it. And it says some rubber cement, a wonderful adhesive. There was some adhesive that was missing. Was it this one? Could be. I don't really remember. If you wrote down the list, you can check to see for yourself. Okay? And that's all that's in the drawer. And then if you look at the trash can, we have a poem. Now let's read this poem. How do I loathe thee? Does this ring any bells? Do you remember those chocolates in Rick's room with the poem? Right there. Right there, baby. We have some evidence. We have evidence towards Lillian that she could have sent him those poison chocolates. This is the poem. All of the love words are changed to loathe. Remember, she used to date him. They're not together anymore. So there's not only do we have motive, but now we have some evidence. Okay, let's click on top. You can go ahead and read this if you like. This is just talking about how the code has been passed around and that there's going to be a new one. And anyone that has this that isn't supposed to have it, there will be consequences. You can't pick up the remote, so you're not going to be using that TV. This is nothing. Her is actually the company that creates the Nancy Drew games, so it's just a decoy. We can move on. Let's look up here. If you slowly hover over these books, this one lights up. And it's the anger control. Click on it. And you will find a floppy disk. Add that to your inventory and know that She reads this anger book with using an old picture of her and Rick as a bookmark. Okay, let's hover over here. Let's go to this calendar. Click on it. We have anger support group. We have a number, and some other memos, and then we have a code. This code looks awfully familiar, doesn't it? It's the same code or like clue thingy from the prop room. Each number represents a letter of the alphabet. So if you write the alphabet down, then you can decipher it. This one here, I'll hold if you don't want any spoilers and try to figure it out yourself. You can go ahead and do that. But I think I've held enough, so if you haven't paused or got out of the video by now, I don't know what to tell you. But the answer is life is like a box of chocolates. The poem was next to what? Chocolates. Do we have more evidence? Yes, we do. Okay, now let's get out of that. Hover over the printer. There's nothing in the printer. Let's go to the calendar up here. Click on it. And all of these, it's going to be kind of blurry, but it says anger management, support groups, lunchtime, and then here we have placed phone order on the 4th. Remember that. Then we go down here and we have this notepad with the pencil. Click on the pencil. It gets added to your inventory. Click on here and then use the pencil here. And now we have Suppressa Chocolates with the phone number. Write that phone number down. Use that phone number because you are going to use that. You're going to need to call them. And you'll hear something crazy when you call them. Okay, so go ahead and call that. And what was the name of the boxes that were in Rick's room? Suppressa Chocolates. Do we have more evidence? Yes, we're getting a lot of incriminating evidence that's pointing that Lillian is probably the one that's sending these death threats. Okay. Now let's go over here. The only thing that lights up here is this picture here, and it's not really it's not relevant to the case. So you can take a look at it and then goodbye. And then let's go down. Let's check out this drawer here. And we have castor oil. So this is known as like poison. So chocolate, poison, love poem, crossed out all the loathe. We know who sent the chocolates to Rick, and that was Lillian. Did she send any other death threats? We don't know that yet. But as of right now, we know that the chocolates were definitely sent by Lillian. Okay. Before we get into the computer, just look around on the desk. Okay. This lights up, so let's go ahead and put our floppy disk in there. And then this also lights up. So you can go ahead and click on this. These are more floppy disks. You can go ahead and look at them all, but they're not irrelevant to the case. So, I mean, you can go ahead and look at them all, but none of them will enter into your inventory. So you can back out there, and now you can get into the computer. So when you go into the computer, you need a login name and password. Do you remember in the prop room, in the logbook, on the top corner, when we fold over that piece of paper, it says Millie WWB 1958. That is where you need in order to log into this computer. So we're going to put Millie, enter. That's how you get to the password, not tab or clicking on password. You have to hit enter. And then WWB 1958. Voila! You're in the computer. Now you want to click on every single one of these icons. Okay, when you click on the filing, it asks for employee ID. We do not have that as of yet. That will come later. So when we get the ID, we have to remember to come back to this computer. Okay, let's go to settings. You can go ahead and read all of this information. Then we have the floppy disk. This will not show anything if you do not put the floppy disk in the computer before you log in. So if you logged into the computer and you'll have to log out or like get out, put the floppy disk in, log back in, and then you can read this. Rick, you had no right to do that to me last night, and you deserve what you got. How could you just leave me like that with no warning, no discussion? Why am I getting the feeling that I've been used by you, just like you've used everyone else in this town to get what you want? Now I hear that you are going out to LA for Jocelyn's birthday party. How convenient for you. You used me to meet her, and now you're on her A-list. Do you know how humiliating it will be for me to show up there with everyone knowing about our breakup? You told me when we first started to date that our relationship was different. Why is this not true anymore? Watch your back, Rick. One of these days, your lies will catch up to you, and you'll find that there's no one left to use. And don't come back to me for any more favors. Once burned, twice shy. Boom. So she's upset, dude. They broke up. She feels like she used him. So there's definitely a big motive as to why she would send him the chocolates. Now, what we need to understand is that those chocolates were poisonous enough to get you sick, but not to kill you. Click on the CD. There's nothing. Click on the printer. This prints out something. You need to remember to go read this after you're done with the computer because it is vital information. You can go ahead and click that and read it. The key, these are the passwords. Feel free to write them all down, but you honestly only need the control room, which is actor. Okay? So remember actor. Okay, these are some emails. Go through each email, read them. Some of the information will help you with your case, or at least understanding more or less some of the information that's been told to you. But other than that, that's it. You know, after you read all of these, there's no internet. And then the trash, this is like some coded thing. It reads the cats and the rats. Jackson Wharf is plagued by an overpopulation of rats causing much havoc. Julian Preston's wedding to Peter Lesnar is ruined by the roving rodents. Byline feline suffers from amnesia after suffering a concussion from a something falling rat. And Rory Danner is accidentally poisoned to death from poorly placed rat poison. Soon after the arrival of this pestilence, a strange woman moves into the abandoned Blackmore mansion with her family of cats. The friendly felines save Jackson's Rory by chasing the rats into the seas. At the end of the episode, it is revealed that the woman is the long-lost heir to the Jackson fortune. This is irrelevant, okay? There's nothing to this. And all those little boxes, you don't need to figure out what those letters are. It's kind of like waste your time. And then we have this little post-it note. And this one you can solve it by just removing the spaces. The spaces are in the wrong spot. So if you remove the spaces and put all the letters together, then read it, and that reads thorns and petals of demise are a sitter reflection of one's envy and despise. You can go ahead and solve that if you want to. It doesn't, if you solve it or not, it doesn't change anything in the game for you. Okay, so now you're done. Just remember, you're not completely done with the director's office. You need to find the employee ID and come back. Now, what do we know? We now know the control room password, which is actor. So what do we need to do now? Well, one, let's go over to the printer real quick to see what we printed. Okay. This is kind of blurry, you can't zoom in anymore, but this is a log of all of the events that has happened with Rick, from the threats all the way to the bomb. So you can go ahead and read these, and the date, first it's the date and then it's the time. So 10/26, that's October 26th at 9 o'clock. And then 11/14, that's November 14th. 17:08, that's military time. In order to, know what times it is, take 17 minus 2, that's 15, drop the 1, that's 5:08 p.m. Boom, bam, boom. That's how I do it. If you do a different way, that's you. That's just how I do it. So go ahead and read this. This is really important that Nancy sees this. Okay? So we know the password to the control room is actor. If you come back, if we go back over here, this is the decoder. So look at this and be like, okay, actor A. Okay, it's this little part of it's a little point. Okay, A is this. Okay, act. AC. So then we're gonna look at a backwards L. ACT. T is a corner with a dot. TO. This is almost a full square with the dot in the middle. And then R, which is, where's R? Oh, right here. Full square with the dot in the middle. So write that down. That way you know what we're going to need to use. So now that we have the password to the control room, that is our next step. We've got to go to the control room. Now, just remember to save your spot, because if you get caught out there, you're ruined. Okay, so that's going to conclude our part 13. We went in at night. There's no room that we need to really look into besides the director's room. So just remember, when you go in at night, save before. Go into the first room that you see to restart your time, because if the guy finds you, you're going to be pushed back to your last save. So go into Rory's room, it's the first door, reset the time, and then head over to the director's room. Remember, in order to get into the rooms, you need your card, and you just use your card on the doorknob. That will allow you to get into the room. Okay, we find a lot of information. What you need vital for is you need the decoder, so you need to come over here, you need to look at that. You need to decipher the clue on the calendar, the one with the letters. you need to use the pencil on the pad to see the phone number, write down that phone number. You need to get that floppy disk that's in the book on the shelf and put that into the computer. When you're in the computer, you need to look at the floppy disk, even though, I mean, it just kind of gives you the more of the motive of why she's doing these things. If you look, when you're in the computer, you need to use the printer that shows the log of the stuff that's been going on with Rick, from the threats all the way to the bomb. Look at one of those logs. It talks about when the chocolates were delivered. 2 days after the calendar has on the 4th, it says make a order. You know, on the 4th, on the 6th, the log says the chocolates were delivered. That kind of makes sense that she ordered it on the 4th. You need to write down the password and then decipher it with a decoder. And that's pretty much what you need from this room. Alright, so that concludes 13. On 14, on part 14, we're going to head to the set. We're going to go up the control room and we're going to look at everything and unlock the door. So I'll see you there, and if you liked my video, like, comment, subscribe.